I was born here in the United States, but my parents were born and raised in Palestine, an Arabic country. They moved here in the U.S. in hopes to find better opportunities for their kids. What they took with them was their religion and custom lifestyles. Both my parents are strict and religious, which intervened with my social life tremendously. My parents don't allow me to have girlfriends, go to parties, and everything in between. My religion restricts many aspects that are part of a teenager's life. However, I was never really religious. In fact, I'm more spiritual. But that's a different story of mine. You see, I was born in New York, but I'm now living in New Jersey. Why? Well, that's the story I intend to tell you. During 2014, on a day I do not recall anymore, I broke night playing a specific game called Assassin's Creed. So in love with it, I had played it from 1 a.m. to 8 in the morning. Eventually, I felt tired enough and got really comfortable in bed where I jumped into the dream world. Shortly after, I suddenly hear my dad yelling, "Wake up! Wake up! There's a fire! Get out of the room!" I woke up to see a small fire 5 feet away from me under my big brother's bed. I barely got an hour of sleep, but my body was fully awake and alerted. I saw my phone right next to me, but my immediate thought was my baby sister who was sleeping in my mom's room deeper in the house. I got up and ran to her. My dad got to her first, so I cleared the floor for him on the way out. As we headed to the door on the other side of the house, there was gray smoke hitting our faces, and each second it was getting darker and hotter. We had to bend low, holding our breaths to get out. The whole house was foggy, crowded with black clouds. The smell of ash was in the air. Fire alarm ringing as we were escaping the apartment. Ironically, I felt I had time to grab my sandals. I wasn't really thinking at the moment, my body just acted. I guess because my mom always taught us to keep our feet clean when going outside in the concrete streets. When we all left the apartment into the halls, my little sister closed the door as she panicked, which wasn't the smartest idea because the smoke was being compressed and trapped inside the crib, where it got darker and hotter fast. In fact, the smoke built up where the gas pressure risen too much where it shattered through the windows of the apartment. Firefighters came within 5 minutes. They broke open our door and flooded the apartment with a water cannon. They told us to evacuate the building quickly. And as we did, the whole building evacuated as well. Crowds of people in pajamas were outside in the streets looking at the building, waiting for any news about what's going on. My family was nearly the last ones to leave. My mom broke down and couldn't handle what just happened. After 15 years of building up life in the apartment, she couldn't process that it all burned into ashes. She kept crying and praying, hoping that wasn't the case. The people from the building gathered around and tried to comfort her. Ambulance arrived and checked up on everyone. To be honest, I kind of found it all funny because, what are the chances that out of everyone I know, my apartment would be the one to get on fire? After about 25 minutes, the firefighters came down and told us that the fire was diminished. However, we could not come back inside. Not for a while. So now we were homeless. Well, not entirely. Red Cross gave us a $1,000 head start, and we ended up living with my grandma for the next 3 months. My parents were deciding where to live next, and I suggested New Jersey. My parents thought that was a really good idea because they believed it would be a better environment for us rather than New York. I didn't believe so, even though I knew nothing about life in New Jersey. I actually only suggested New Jersey because, well, I met a girl during those 3 months who happened to be living in New Jersey. And so that's where we went. We moved in around the Fairview area where I began to attend Cliffside Park High School. It was a new beginning, but it started kind of rusty because, well, that girl I met didn't really have the personality I thought she had. But that's a whole different story. I was born in New York, but I live in New Jersey. Why? Well, now you know that story.
It's been hard watching them both suffer and slave to a job.